sometimes I feel like somebody with a lot of people drown. And actually, I try to describe the water in this case. So, I think the philosophy must be more than this. And I want to find some kind of different direction of interpretation and to show something else. Okay, the main problem of my presentation starts from actually the relation between action and deep beliefs. Actually, Francis Bacon in the 17th century presents us the well-known idols. What means idols for us? That means nothing, absolutely nothing. We can do it and we can know without being influenced by the different kinds of things. And Bacon sustained the idea that everything we know interferes between us and the real knowledge. The four idols of Bacon eliminated any kind of knowing, any kind of knowledge. Idolatribus eliminate the society knowledge. Idolas Pecus, or the idols of Idolas Pecus. Okay, sorry for this. Okay. Idolas Pecus eliminated everything means the personal knowledge. Idola Fori eliminate everything is the dialogue. And Idola Theatri eliminate everything means culture in the large term of culture. That kind of idols are unconscious. So we have profound, deep knowledge that influence us. This is a main problem. Okay, an epistemic decision, accepted theory, influence the action. And also, repeated action determines certitude, and it is a reverse of this idea. Every kind of certitude determines repeated actions. Okay. In this case, there are in our history networking hubs where something happened. From there, we have unconscious things that influence us. In this situation, I take a case study regarding Middle Age problem of unicity of the truth. Okay, what is about in this problem? What is unique truth? In the Middle Age, it was in 13th century, a debate starting from Averroes' works. The main debate was focused on the unity of intellect. But with this debate, we have another second aspect, regarding if I have one truth or two kinds of truth. What said Averroes in the Philosophy and Theology? He said there are two kinds of truth. The truth of philosophy and the truth of theology. These kinds of truth are totally different in my own. So, I have two possibilities to knowing the world. That means the theology and the philosophy is not necessary to put it one to each other. In this situation, I can make experience, I can understand the science without the direct influence of theology. For this, he used example for Quran, and he said in the other part of this paper, where in the Quran we can find a passage regarding these aspects. And he sublined the fact, the description of the reality, it is not considered a revelation. It is natural, a natural description. So, we have here two kinds of truth. What happened in the interpretation of Western perspectives? In 1263, Alberti Magni, or Albert the Great, opened the debate regarding the unity of intellect with the unitate intellectus. He started there, and he sublined the aspects, the problem of interpretation of physics, where Averroes said it is one intellect. That means it is some kind of universal intellect, and the personal intellect is just a participation to this one. But not this debate is important for us, but the second aspect regarding this debate. After that, in 1270, Thomas d'Aquino, in De Unitate Intellectus contra Averroistas, he sublined these aspects regarding it's not possible to have just one intellectus, but must to have individual intellect. Also, Alberti Magni, in his paper regarding this aspect. And after that, after that, Etienne Tempier, the Bishop of Paris, forbidden the ideas of unicity of intellect. Okay. In that discussion, Thomas d'Aquino, had a small phrases where he said it's not important the philosophical aspects, but they are important the pure beliefs. So it is very important for us the beliefs and the relation directly with the God and the revelation of the God. And we cannot have two different kinds of truth, but just one. It is impossible that scientific truth to be in opposite sides with the theological. In that small phrases, he unified that two kind of truth and transferred that idea to the whole philosophical thought in Western countries. What happened with the unique truth, and where we have the effects of unique truth? Okay, the question, normal question is, what happened if the theory of unique truth didn't become the official policy of the Occidental Church? Actually, it didn't exist any kind of battle between theology and philosophy. It didn't exist any kind of battle between theology and the modern science. It didn't exist the effects regarding the forbidden of free reason start from Council of the Trent. You know really what happened there. And there was the final point of the freedom of the reason for European country. Of course, it didn't exist Bruno Bulan. It didn't exist Galileo's trial. And sure, didn't exist this kind of argue like Galileo did here. What I want to summarize here is the fact Galileo, to explain his concept, tried to find some theological reasons, not explain mathematical, not explain in the world of philosophical reason, but he used theological reason. And he said, okay, we have in the Bible, it is here it is about the theory of geocentrism and heliocentrism, put it face to face, and Galileo sustained the heliocentrism. And he interpreted that Joshua said about sun stand up on the sky. And he said, okay, it is, yes, actually he said, sun stand up on the sky, but that was not a reality. There was an upward moving of the world around the sun, and is not the moving of the sun around the world. So it was an argument that wasn't taken serious by the Catholic priest, and everybody knows what happened with Gabriel after that. So after that, the problem of unique truth became one way of thinking for Occidental science, and became a way of thinking not only in the theology of 40 to 60th century, but became a way of thinking to everything else we interpret after that. There were few trying to put it in the first level, the problem of the unicity of the truth. And here we have Francis Bacon, the Dignitate l'augmentus scientiorum, when he tried to separate theology from the science. But this kind of separation was after that interpreted like a superiority of the science over the theology. Actually, Francis Bacon didn't say something like that. Also, we have Descartes' Meditationes de Prima Philosophia, where he used the idea of God to construct the epistemic world of Descartes. He used that idea, and we have their ontological arguments for construct an entire world. Okay. But what is double truth? It is something like modern relativism? No, it's not a modern relativism. Why? Because modern relativism creates a relationship between values, epistemic, aesthetics, norm, experience, judgment, and paradigms, culture, conceptual, etc. So we have put it in relation two different kinds of issues with the idea to the unique truth inside. Because in this aspect of relativism, we said, yes, we have different kind of truth, but they are inside of one style of thinking. Actually, it's a problem of double truth. If it was relativism in the 30th century, nobody tried to find a solution for the double or unique truth. Why? Because I'm not interested about the discussion of this because it's regarding to the Islamic philosophy. It's not didn't regard the aspects of European or Christian philosophy. Okay, here I have an example about what means relativism. Okay, we can say, is the double truth some kind of fundamentalism? Yes and no at the same time. Why yes and why no? Yes, because it is some kind of different way of thinking, but it was regarded like equally in the relation with the truth. The truth in the double truth is to the same level. Is not any kind of superiority to this kind of truth. And also in this situation, we can have some solution. Okay. I think this is the last about our conclusion. We think, and I think, the double truth is a solution for an intercultural dialogue. Why? Because we try to conscience our limits with this. Because the other truth is to the same level with the others. And also, we eliminated some kind of empathy, some kind of condescending regarding the other, some kind of feeling that it determines their inferiority. So, it's very important, starting from here, to understand the other.